following video will be presented in audio form.
So,
Hey Josh,
what's up, Seb? Hey,
and you must be Ty Simpkins.
yeah, hi, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
Great to meet you.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you too. I've been watching Iron Man 3 and The Whale all week long.
That's awesome. That's great. Did you like him?
I sure am. And it's also been 10 years since you were a part of the MCU and and, and getting to star alongside Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, no, that was amazing. It was a dream come true for me, being a kid and being able to work with Iron Man is pretty
Oh,
awesome.
man. And Josh, I like your kitties, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
that's three of them here.
oh, man, how many do you have exactly, if you don't mind?
One of them is mine. My roommate has one, and then my last roommate left one. So there's three cats in this apartment.
Oh my God, three cats. I only have two of them, where I am in the UK.
What are your cats' names?
One of them is Tic Tac, named after the mint,
Okay.
and the second one is Lolo. I mostly see them near the window when I'm cooking some dinner for the family. They're always out and about, and I have no idea why. And I noticed that Ty, you've done a recent movie a couple months ago. What was the film called?
Insidious, the Red Door.
Oh yes, I've seen that movie. Scared the hell out of me. And I wasn't old enough to watch the other Insidious movies because they came out and when I was 10. And here in the UK, I had to wait till I was 15.
Oh, okay. So have you since gone back and watched the original ones?
Yeah, I've seen the original, the first two actually. I watched them when I was probably homesick a couple months ago. They were really creepy. I'm a big scaredy cat myself. I like horror movies.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and do you have a favorite horror movie?
I think my favorite horror movie is, oh man, what's it? It's the Blumhouse one with Patrick Wilson and Conjuring. Yeah, The Conjuring.
Conjuring.
Love The Conjuring. That one is
Yeah.
spooky. That one gets
Yeah.
me.
I mostly like number two, the Enfield Poltergeist and the Nun. They're completely creepy, and
Oh,
yeah, and the two Nun movies they scared the hell out of me and gave me a shock.
The Nun is really scary. I remember seeing the first one in theaters, and that was really freaky. I can't even do horror movies. They're too scary.
And have you seen the second movie?
The Nun, I've seen the second Nun. I don't remember it as well, but I do, all those movies, anything scary is really just up my alley and fun and yeah.
Mm, yeah, I can feel that way. And yeah, I want to ask a question. It's relating to the SAG strike that ended about a week or two ago. Was it a week?
Yeah, I think it was about a week, yeah.
Yeah. What were your thoughts and opinions on this strike that has been happening back in LA and
Yeah.
probably all over?
So the main issues that I feel like SAG was really trying to approach and get at with the strike, it was a long time coming because streamers have been out for a long time and they've been trying to get actors paid. Because right now, as it is, if you watch a movie on Netflix or something, like the actors in that movie wouldn't get paid, which if it comes out in theaters or on DVD, they normally would. So it's been like a long time that they're trying to do this. So it's nice that they kind of got around to it. But I'm just happy that everything, worked out the way it did, and we're back in the industry's up and working again.
And that's a lot of information to dive into, and I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's really crazy what the studios were doing, but they got to figure it out.
And it's also crazy to see what happens with the movie schedule that keeps changing and changing and week after week and so on. I also just don't like the pressure put on films being pushed back. It just stresses me the hell out. But as they
Yeah,
say, patience is all it takes.
definitely. I think especially with some of the bigger movies like Deadpool and Wolverine and all those ones, it's going to be good that they do wind up taking more time to flesh it out and to get what they really want.
That makes perfect sense. And speaking of movies being pushed back, there was one movie that I was completely attached to, which was supposed to come out at the beginning of March next year after leap year. It's called Elio, and basically I think Pixar took some inspiration from Lilo and Stitch with this film. It's basically an alien race, a communiverse they're looking for their next leader, and they seem to have picked up the wrong leader when receiving a message down to a NASA-like type of space station. Throughout the whole movie, we got a teaser trailer for it back in the summertime, but then the movie got pushed back a year and a half. So I decided to do like two memes on two social platforms that I have, like one on Instagram stories and one for TikTok. It's okay if I show you, Ty?
Yeah, go ahead.
And the first one here, when someone tells you Elliot got pushed back a year and a half, yeah, that's a still image from the trailer, and that's exactly how I felt about movies getting pushed back, and that's what it makes me feel. It makes me feel angry on the inside. I just didn't want to explode or anything.
Right, yeah.
And the second meme I have was really a part of the Office meme. If you've seen it, like the God no. Let me show you. I don't know if you could see it.
Oh God, please no! 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 No!
Please make it really funny.
Yeah, it's a CapCut filter, a template. It's the internet's favorite meme, and I thought maybe it will go perfect with one of the projects that have been pushed back instantly because of the strike. And just recently, the Marvel project for 2025. Yeah, it sucks. I know.
Well,
And
now you got to do the opposite and do one celebrating the strike being done. Now that you know they're all coming back.
True.
yeah, it's such a bummer. Anyways, Ty, speaking of superhero movies besides Iron Man 3, and do you have another favorite MCU movie?
MCU movie. I'm gonna go with either Thor Ragnarok or Captain America: The First Avenger.
Yeah.
Well, Ragnarok, that was hilarious. And Taika Waititi, he managed to bring lots of comedy to the big screen, both as a director and the character core. You know, the character who is made of all things rocks and stones. He's just a great guy. And
He's the goat.
Yeah.
yeah, and he has that new movie Next Goal Wins coming out later this month. And sadly in the UK we had to wait until Boxing Day. But the trailer, it looks really good. It's based on a true story about this losing soccer team in the American Samoa, which I'd never heard of until the trailer dropped. Probably have to do some research on the actual place on the earth.
I actually haven't seen the trailer yet, but it sounds really interesting and cool, and I'm gonna have to check that out.
You know, there's too much going on in my head because of this conversation we're having as a trio. I never thought I would be a part of the conversation with my cousin and a friend of yours who's actually an actor. I never knew that a family member of mine would be friends with an actor. I think that was the first time I've heard it.
Yeah. We didn't even meet through movies or anything. We met through one of my friends here.
Just randomly, yeah.
Really.
Like in
Small world. Very,
Yeah.
very coincidental.
And first off, according to what I've just said, when did you two meet up? Like, how did you come across each other and so on? What was the whole story?
So, the guy who plays my little brother in the Insidious movies, I've known since the first Insidious, so my whole life. And on this most recent one, we reconnected. And when I moved back out to LA. I was like, hey, I asked my friend to hang out, and he invited me over here, which is where Josh lives, and we all just kind of got to hang out.
Yeah. We came homies.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a long story short. I think probably a short story.
Yeah.
It was, well, I think that was only at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. No, that's only a couple months ago. Yeah.
But I've known Asher, I've known Andrew Asher for 4 years.
Wow.
I haven't. One question that I put on my documents, a Word document. I've been organizing a couple of questions in time for the session. Do you have any favorite hobbies you enjoy doing? Like, for example, Ty, are you into music like Josh is?
I mean, I like listening to music. I don't make music like Josh does. I love doing like martial arts and like jujitsu and boxing and things like that.
Martial arts. And that's a great topic.
We're gonna get him to make some music though.
Oh yeah,
We're gonna
definitely,
get him to make some.
definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have a favorite martial arts movie? Now that you mentioned it.
Ooh,
That's a good question.
I want to say there was like this really funny like I think it was Jackie Chan movie called like The Forbidden Temple or The Lost Temple or something like that. It came out in the early 2000s.
The Forbidden Kingdom.
Forbidden Kingdom, yeah. And
Yes, that's the one. That's the one. I haven't seen that in forever. It's been 15 years.
love that movie. It's so fun and you know the martial arts is great and over the top everything is fun and the fantasy vibe. I love that movie.
And yeah, and director of Stuart Little, Rob Minkoff, is it?
Really, I didn't know that.
I think so. Let me Google it. Forbidden Kingdom. It says, yeah, director of Stuart Little, Rob Minkoff. He also did Mr. Peabody.
Wow.
Look at
I
that.
like
I
it,
had no
right?
idea.
Have you seen those movies of Stuart Little?
I've seen I don't know if I've seen all like three of them because I know there's a bunch of them. I've seen the first
What?
one for sure. Yeah.
I thought there was just one.
No, there's a bunch of them. And then I've seen are you talking about the animated Mr. Peabody and Sherman movie that came out?
Yeah, it came out almost a decade ago, Mr. Peabody.
I love that. That's a great film or a great animated film.
And DreamWorks Animation, they've done a ton of movies over these nearly 3 decades. And speaking of DreamWorks, I did enjoy watching Trolls 3, Trolls Band Together. As I live here in the UK, I was very lucky to have seen it a month early, back in October. I have a cinema pass, and I'm so addicted to seeing movies just like that one. I even have 2 Trolls on me. Keep looking at them right now. Is it okay if I show you? The first one is Poppy. This one over here, and the second one is Viva. That's Poppy's sister.
Okay.
Have you seen the 2 Trolls movies?
In the first Trolls movie. I haven't seen any of the other ones, but it was really fun. When I saw it, I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I love the first one as well because it was home to Can't Stop the Feeling. It's probably my favorite summer song of 2016. I thought the second one was good, even though we had to watch it during quarantine, and
Sure.
and we had to bring the cinema to the comfort of our homes. And I loved number 3, and it was because it was inspired by the music of 90s boy bands like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and so on.
Okay, cool. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
And speaking of NSYNC, have you heard that comeback song about 2 months ago?
I didn't know they were
didn't know
making a
that.
comeback.
I don't know they done one.
That they made a comeback for the first time in over 2 decades. The song is called Better Place. I listened to it hundreds of times. It's like
Cool.
it's almost like my new favorite Can't Stop the Feeling. It's basically like probably a love letter to the fans who grew up listening to JT's music with NSYNC way before he went solo. And spoiler alert, near the end of the film, we actually see all of NSYNC as trolls, as seen in the featurette. And whenever you have the time to see Trolls 3, I recommend you go check that out.
Yeah, definitely. I also have the cinema pass thing, but for our version of it, so I'll definitely go check it out.
Oh, that would be great. And let's do another question. I probably said too much about movies. Like, Ty, when did you first get into acting before doing Insidious and Iron Man and Jurassic World?
So I've actually been acting since I was 3 weeks old. I got my first job before I was even born. And
That's fine.
yeah, my mom knew a bunch of like casting directors and people that wanted, were casting for movies, and they were asked for like a certain like a baby for a certain date, and I was going to be born by then, so they like signed me up before I was even born. But I've been acting my whole life. I want to say I was probably about 8 when I did Insidious, and then 10 turning 11 when I did Iron Man 3, and then 12 for Jurassic World. So
Wow, that's a lot to take in. Like, and I'm guessing you probably weren't old enough to see the Insidious movies, even though you were in a horror franchise.
I mean, my parents were pretty open to me being like watching it just because I was in it, but personally, because I didn't want to watch a scary movie at that age, I was like, I'm not gonna watch it.
Even though you were in a scary movie.
Yeah, even though I was in it, it was scary to film for me at that time. And you know, I just didn't want to watch it as a kid. I've
Right.
seen it since, but
Imagine.
Grief. I have no response to that. And and what is it that you like about acting in a different variety of movies, genre after genre?
Yeah, you know, I like it because when I get a drama, like a drama movie, it's hard work because I need to really like dive into the character and find the character. But I have to do that with every movie. So, but the real, I guess, difficulties with my job when I'm doing like drama films is just the constant like taxing of just like if I have to be sad in a movie, just being sad all the time, that kind of thing. So, but it's like a fun challenge. Like I have fun trying to get to these places. And then with like action, the hard part is like the lines might be a little cheesier than like a drama movie. So you really have to like work on how you say the lines and like having no kind of insecurities about what you're doing, or else like the audience isn't going to believe what you're doing, and then it won't come off as authentic. And then comedy is really fun because you're just making jokes the whole time and you get to improvise and like just kind of make up what you want and do what you want, and play around with everyone on set, which is really cool. And those are really the only 3 types of movies that I've done the majority of. So those are the only ones I can really speak to. Oh, besides horror. Horror is just fun because it's scary. But yeah, sorry, I know that was a lot of information and take at once, but
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take it. I'll take it. Man. And The Whale. It's my grandmother and I went to see it in Toronto for Christmas last year, and it was amazing, and it was really powerful. And I'm still watching it on my Apple TV library. It's just an emotional love letter. And Brendan Fraser, he did such an amazing job playing the Charlie character. That's taking place in one room, an apartment building, and I had no idea that you were featured in that film alongside him, Sadie, and the rest of the cast of the film, and Darren Aronofsky. Like, what was that experience like for you?
yeah, it was actually it was crazy. So I was in college, and at the time I wanted to just focus on school. So I had turned down like multiple projects that were coming my way. Like I didn't want to do anything at the time. I didn't want to work. And then I got the audition, and I quickly sent an audition back to them. And then like a couple of days later, I heard that I was going to do another audition for that, but with Darren, Sadie, and Brendan like all in the room there with me, so we could see how we interact with each other. And then in like that day, in the same room that I auditioned with, like Darren, the director, told me that I got the job and I was flying out to New York the next day. And it was like the middle of it was the middle of winter. It was February. So like I live in Southern California, so I'm wearing like tank tops and shorts and all this really like warm weather stuff. Meanwhile, I have to go to New York, like upstate New York, with nothing. So it's just like 20 degrees every day, and I have tank tops on. And so that was crazy. But working with Brendan was a lot of fun. Like he is just such a calm presence to have around, and a nice guy and a fun guy, and like he is so proud of all the work that he does, to the point where he is so proud of the people around him and will like in a very genuine way. And he was, you know, a great supporter for me on set. You know, he was very welcoming and warm. And then Darren was just, you know, he's Darren. He's a director. He's a visionary. He has a plan in his mind that nobody really understands until it's done. And I feel like that he works in a very specific way, but it gets the job done. And, you know, he makes great movies. So
That's such an amazing story, and very informative. Again, it's great to talk to a celebrity just like you on Zoom. And I've done this many times during quarantine. I met some other celebrities during a virtual experience called GalaxyCon, where they brought the conventional experience to our homes, whilst they had to put their convention, their live and events on hold because of coronavirus. And I saw at once that this was going to be my new favorite hobby, and like speaking to my favorite celebrities and so on. I thought it was a great opportunity to add that to my YouTube channel to entertain my audience. In case I forgot to mention, I have a YouTube channel.
yeah, Josh showed me actually. It's really cool.
Thanks for letting him know, Josh.
Well, you're putting in hard work.
Yeah, and I've also put up some TikToks on my TikTok account, and I put them on my channel as YouTube Shorts. And the recent one I put up was from the movie Trolls, which I already described to you, and it was one of the scenes where Branch's brothers Clay had to do one of the moves that he invented, and after the brothers broke up and near the start of Trolls 3. Allow me to show you.
Serious boy Clay only does the well-oiled robot, and it is no.
There you go, Sad. You killed that.
Yeah, I sure did. It took me a couple takes to get the whole thing right, and I did. And have done a ton of troll TikTok videos in celebration of that film's release. Now, well, let's get back to the movie conversation, if that's all right. For each of you, what is your all-time favorite movie you have watched?
All-time favorite.
I'm gonna have to go with Star Wars Empire Strikes Back.
Ooh.
That's probably my favorite movie.
That's a great movie. I'm a fan of all things Star Wars. And Josh, have you decided what your favorite film was?
Yeah, honestly, it might be The Lion King.
Ooh.
It's like my
Lion King. That's a great one. I especially love the 2019 remake, and it made me cry straight away when Circle of Life started, and it was nearly similar to the animated classic that we grew up watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brother Bear's a good one.
That makes me
Oh,
sad. That
yeah.
one made me cry.
Yeah, that's emotional too. I had no idea Joaquin Phoenix was in that film, voicing the lead character.
What?
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix. He plays a Kenai, like in the first film.
I had no idea. That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, Joaquin Phoenix. Like, are you familiar with his work? Have you seen Joker yet?
Yeah, I've seen Joker. I've seen plenty of his stuff.
What?
Yeah, he's great. He's great.
Yeah, that was him. Joaquin Phoenix is in Brother Bear.
I had no idea.
We had no idea.
That's wild.
And let me double check the casting list on Brother Bear. And yep. And just like it says on Google, Joaquin Phoenix is he.
Wow. Wow.
I'm gonna tell my family. I'm gonna share that.
Speaking of Joaquin, are you excited for his new movie, Napoleon?
I have ever been more excited for a movie in that, like, just a movie in a long time. I haven't been this excited for.
I didn't hear about it,
dude.
It's about Napoleon.
It's about Napoleon, and he plays Napoleon, and it goes through his entire like. It's crazy.
What is
Yeah.
that about?
It comes out in time for Thanksgiving. Here in the UK, it comes out next Wednesday.
Movie with Leonardo DiCaprio coming out.
Oh, I heard that's good. Yeah.
I've seen Killers of Flower Moon as well, and it was very long. I didn't know if I could sit in that cinema chair for that long, like 3.5 hours.
3.5.
That's movies
Yes.
are doing.
Yeah, Martin Scorsese, it's his decision on how long each of his movies should be.
Sorry.
Martin Scorsese, he decides on the runtime of each movie. Like for example, Wolf of Wall Street, it's also 3 hours long.
Yeah, that was
That's
a good one.
surprising. That one kind of flies by.
It does.
But there is a lot that happens in it.
Yeah, there's also a bit of comedy to it. From Leo's performance, and it's great that they put in an actual appearance of the real Jordan Belfort at the end, the baddest I ever met. Excuse my English, but that's what he said during a New Zealand meeting. That's what happens at the end of the film.
Oh yeah.
So
When he's selling the pen, right?
Yeah, sell me this pen. Like,
Seb, you know,
I only have an ink pen.
Seb, you know, I sat next to him on an airplane before.
You did the real Jordan or Leo DiCaprio?
Know it until I got off. 'Cause it was like around the time of COVID, so people had masks on. And I ended up being on business class, and so he's here, like in the middle, and I'm one row on the aisle.
Wow.
And he was talking the whole time, and I remember kind of thinking, like, for a brief second, I was like, God, looks like Jordan Belfort.
Yeah.
Like, just something really talked. And then I'm getting off the plane, and there's someone waiting for him.
Oh, and it
with
says
the
his
sign,
name.
Jordan
Oh my
Belfort. And I was like, I haven't seen next to Jordan Belfort that entire
That's so
life.
funny.
So you did see Jordan Belfort.
That's what I was like. It's not Jordan Belfort. What am I talking about? But yeah, that was really random.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, I have a 10-minute timer on me, so we have enough room for a couple more questions, if that's all right. But this is our Zoom session. We've asked so many questions, and it's great to speak with an actor who's once again friends with a cousin of mine.
Yeah, thanks for being so patient with this, Seb. I know it's taking a minute, but
Yeah, thank you for being patient with everything. It is great to finally talk to you.
Thank you, Ty. And for Ty, that's you. Do you have any upcoming movies and projects that are either in production, pre or post production, so on?
Yeah, I got some movies that I can't really talk about yet in pre-production, but I do have a movie that just came out called The Re-Education of Molly Singer that is almost like a modern American Pie kind of thing. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but it's like college comedy, going to parties, falling in love, like just that whole kind of thing with some twists in there, and it's a really fun, teenager watching with your parents kind of thing. Yeah, that kind of thing. It's really fun. I would check that.
Well, I've seen that trailer for that project that you just told me about, but it's not in the UK yet.
Oh, okay.
But next time I'm in Toronto, where my family and friends are, I'll probably have a go watching it.
You'll have to check it out. It's great.
Definitely. How about Avengers Endgame? I know you were only there for you showed up on camera as Harley for 10 seconds, I think. Part of Tony Stark's funeral scene. What was that experience like for you? Paying tribute to Tony Stark.
It was it was exciting. It was weird to me because I hadn't heard from anyone at Marvel, I think for probably about 5 or 6 years at that point. So it was just kind of I'm okay, that's happened.
Right.
I'm not doing anything more with Marvel at this point. I'm just gonna live my life. And then out of nowhere, I was at baseball practice of all things in 10th grade. And the producer was on the phone and he was saying he told me everything, Iron Man's gonna die. He told me the whole lead up with they fight Thanos, all this stuff. And I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, what? They're telling me a lot of like serious information that they're just entrusting in like a child. Okay. And so like they didn't tell me how much I was actually going to be doing. They didn't tell me what I was going to be doing. They just told me like what I needed to know. And then when I actually got on set, it was crazy, obviously, because like I'm the youngest one there. I'm the one who's been in like the least Marvel things out of anyone. So everyone knows somebody there, and pretty much all of the Avengers are super like they had a fantasy football league together. Like they were like buddies. And I'm just here kind of like alone. I don't really know what to do. I knew Chris Pratt like kind of from when I was a kid. So like I talked to him a little bit, and then like some other people kind of made nice and were talking to me. But I didn't really get to talk to anyone until later that night. Robert did like a party for everyone and invited me. And then the next day we did like the 10-year Marvel photo shoot. So I got to talk to like Vin Diesel and a lot of people there, which was pretty cool.
Word.
Yeah. But that was probably as a kid, well, one, like it was one of the hardest things I had to do because I filmed 2 years before Endgame came out. So I had to keep that Iron Man died as a secret for 2 years. While movies were still coming out.
Oh my
And
god.
like people are talking to me about it and all this stuff. They didn't know that I was in it. So they're just talking to me as a fan. And like, what do you think's gonna happen? And like
you should give him a perfect
like
prediction.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, but so that was like difficult, but it was honestly probably one of the best memories I've had in my life. You know, that's such an amazing thing for a kid to be able to do, and it wound up being one of the top grossing movies of all time, and you know all these things. So like as a kid, I was ecstatic. It was a dream come true. It was more than life. It was crazy.
Fantastic. I managed to find the screenshot on Google. It's okay if I show you that just to get you caught up.
Cool.
And there you are,
Wow.
standing right next to the late William Hurt.
Yeah, he was talking to me that day a lot, actually. It was really nice. We talked about nature and birds and stuff.
Yeah. We miss him every day. We got introduced to him in the Ed Norton version of Hulk, and I think we're going to continue seeing him on Disney Plus, whichever Marvel movie you want to watch or look back on. That's how I like to pay my respects to William.
Very sweet.
And also, I think to wrap up, I have one more question. As we're coming near the end of the year and Christmas is coming too fast, which movie are you looking forward to seeing at the end of the year?
I am so excited for Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon that's coming out on Netflix. So basically he like wanted to make a Star Wars movie, but it was rated R, and Disney said we don't want to make a rated R Star Wars movie, so he just made it anyway.
They're off-brand.
And it's off-brand Star Wars, but it looks really cool. Yeah, and it's rated R.
Definitely cool. They split it in 2 parts. They released a trailer a couple days ago. One is The Child of Fire, comes out next month, and part 2 early next year.
Yeah,
It's probably seen a teaser for it. And
it looks visually stunning.
Definitely. And Josh, what about you?
I don't even know what's on the radar for the next couple months, but that sounds exciting.
And finally, me. I'm looking forward to watching the Willy Wonka prequel.
Oh, that might be mine.
They released a couple clips just like a few, like an hour or 2 ago before the session, and I'll let you in on a little secret. It was completely filmed in Bath, England, where I am.
Wow.
Yeah, they filmed it 2 years ago during quarantine. I had no idea they were going to film the prequel in my home city.
So you should go around to the sites that and you know you can see where they filmed. You should go to the sites and
yeah. One shot in the first trailer, you see Stall Street. That's where you see a shopping mall called Primark. And that was just one of the locations that I spotted in the trailer, and I was shocked when it appeared on screen, one of the landmarks. And whenever you're free, you two should definitely come to Bath and see for yourself.
Yeah, Bath is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I love it. Seb, you should do a video when the movie comes out, going around all the locations.
Yeah, big thumbs up for that.
Yeah.
As I can see by my timer, I'm nearly running out. So, Josh, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for letting me get the opportunity to meet your friend Ty Simpkins. And Ty, think you made my evening and afternoon and morning where you are in LA. It's such an amazing moment. Probably my favorite highlight of 2023. And I can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you so much, man. I had a blast talking to you. Thank you for all the great questions.
You're welcome. And I hope to see you all soon.
And let me know if you're ever in LA, Seb.
I will. Take care. Okay, bye.
Yeah.